Howdy. I am building a house and I have no idea what I'm doing. This should be fun. Welcome to episode 1. All right, let me explain a little bit as to what I'm doing here, why I'm building a house, and what the heck am I doing? Well, where am I? I'm in Colorado. I have some friends who live on this property. They already have a house that they live in, but they're building a new one that's going to be bigger and better, and this is going to be their primary residence. As you can see, they've already been working on it. The whole foundation is built. And this is the basement that I'm standing in right now. This is like a big rectangle basement, and this right here is unique. This is not a standard rectangle or square size, because this is going to be a dome. And right now we're standing in the basement of this structure, so there's going to be a ceiling and a floor on here, and then a dome built with aircrete. And they're using materials that are really interesting to me. And one of the reasons I'm here is because I want to learn this. I have no experience whatsoever with construction. I barely know how to use a power drill. But I want to learn how to do this. And I've been traveling for the past almost 10 years. Most of it has been internationally. The past few years have been in the US. And one of the reasons I've been traveling around the US is because I want to find a piece of land that I can call my own. There's just something intriguing to me about being able to build your own home. I'm the type of person to believe that just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean you can't, right? Everything is learnable. And I want to keep learning. I think that's what life is about, right? If you stop learning, you stop growing. Just because I have no experience doing this doesn't mean I can't do it. And I want to try. And this is an opportunity that presented itself where I know someone who's building a home in a unique way with aircrete and dome structures. And, maybe I won't do it in this style, but you got to start somewhere, and I have the freedom to be able to just come here and dedicate time to do it. So why not? Why not? Someone's calling me. Dad's calling me. When Dad calls, I got to answer. Hold on.
What's up?
What's up, Dad?
Finish the house yet?
Not even close.
So I'm going to let you know something very weird.
What?
Well, ChatGPT almost made me cry last night.
Why?
Ever since I was a kid, I had an idea for a children's book. No, I never did it. Never wrote it. So I went to ChatGPT and told him what my book is, and it wrote it.
Wow.
And it did a fucking phenomenal job in about a half a second.
Yeah. Wow.
The thing that got me emotional was it wrote exactly what I would have wrote. It wrote what was in my mind, and it rhymes.
Yeah. Welcome to the artificial intelligence.
It's crazy. So I'm up all night making song parodies with my new friend ChatGPT.
All right, let's dive in. Let's talk to Rob about what we got going on. I think I'm going to make a weekly video of the progress that we make and the lessons that I learn. So here we go. Welcome to building a unique home in Colorado. Over here we got a delivery of all the truss that just came in yesterday, and this is how they get it off of the trailer. Nice. Oh, perfect execution. It just drives away. So these are going to be layered across the top like this. So we just put these beams in last night, and now these beams will be holding this long beam. See these? You can see we have 3 beams. 1, 2. We brought the other one down yesterday just to test to see if we can carry it. But these things are long. They're 60 feet long. So that's one of the interesting things about not having a whole construction crew out here. It's like, how the heck do we lift this up? And then we're gonna lay it out right on the top of these poles. So this is what we're working on today. We're getting these poles ready so they can hold these beams. What the heck am I doing? Okay, all of these posts now have these brackets on them, so we are ready to lay down our load. Lay down that long ass 60-foot beam. And we got 2 other guys coming here shortly.
I don't know if it's, but we're gonna try. If we get to a point where we're like, hey, it's sketchy, we don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
We'll pick it up. We'll see how it feels.
100 pounds, my ass.
Do you think it's more?
Oh yeah.
All right, so up and over.
Yeah, so we'll probably want to just scoot it back a hair.
Here's the fun part. Getting the beams up. All right, the first beam is up. We thought we were gonna maybe need a crane for this. You don't need a crane. We got some of these cranes right here. Glue it in place now, and then we got 2 more. Woo! Look at that beauty. All 3 beams right up in there. Day 4. Let's see what's in store.
Front and a back here. That's sitting on a load-bearing wall. It's gonna be flush all the way. So that's what's important, is that like we have front and back. Let's start with these. Let's start, because these are actually gonna be some of our heavier ones. But F10s are all starting in that back right corner.
Okay, our next mission is to open the truss. It's been sitting here looking all beautiful for a couple days. Now it's time to actually lift it up and get it set in place. This should be fun. All right, the first piece of truss is inside. All right, we got the first truss up. Ooh.
Might have to come in kind of on an angle here.
All right.
Push it down once it's compressed. Just pull the trigger.
Gotcha.
You just want to make sure you got pressure on it. It's kind of a big thing.
Okay.
Awkward. And then throw one on the back. Kind of come in on an angle.
Yeah. Okay.
And that'll hold it in place for now.
Cool.
60 more to go.
Yeah, we got this.
We got this.
So, lesson of the day is that construction is mostly just a series of encountering problems and then figuring out solutions. We encountered a problem today, and I'll explain it tomorrow morning, because we're gonna call it right now and finish for the day, because we have an exciting activity planned for tonight. I'm going to my first ever rodeo. Let's go see what this is like.
Now, Paonia, this is what we asked for when the gate opens. Get loud and proud. Let them know you're here tonight.
Oh!
Well, I'll tell you what, that horse zigged when Kyler should have zagged. Final bronc riding in this first round. So when the gate flies, what do you say? We let them know we're here for them tonight. Get louder. That'll get that horse out of there. Folks, pay him off, as we said. We'll see him again. All right, we're going to be loading in some bulls here. They got your back, bud, and we've got yours with the applause when that gate comes open. It's time to fly high here in Paonia. Folks, are you ready? There's that good one right here. Whoa. Wyatt steps right in there and protects that cowboy. I'll tell you what, holy cow.
Hey, Bolt.
That's 2 for the Bills.
Hey, Bolt.
Here he comes out here. Come on, cowboy. How about it for our bullfighters tonight? We call them our cowboy saviors, turning them right away from color, so you got no injuries. We appreciate that.
Morning. Rodeo last night was an interesting experience. As I travel, I'd like to experience what the local culture is like. And here, that is definitely part of the local culture. Anyway, getting back to the build today. So we made some progress yesterday, but we also encountered some problems yesterday.
A little both.
Okay, so here's the situation. All these truss run this way, and there are different sizes. You can see these start at the end, and then end here. And then there's gonna be another set that run here and match here in the middle. But some of these, because of the rounded wall for this dome, some of these go longer, and they're all different sizes because they're supposed to go over a little bit and then get a certain distance away from the edge of the wall. Well, the first problem we encountered yesterday was that these are all numbers. So these are F10s, and then supposed to come F9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Well, we went F10, F9 was too long. It didn't fit in here. And then so we used F8. So we skipped F9, this is 8, then we use 7, 6, 5, and you can see they're progressively getting closer and closer to the wall. And then when we got to F4, it was too big. So then we skipped, went to F3. Now the problem is we are short a few trusses, and also they're off a little bit, so we're figuring it out. But in the meantime, we want to get the truss that do fit in place. So we're gonna continue going. Oh, I'm gonna grab my other camera and set up some time lapses. It's cool to see the progression of the work we do in time lapse. So I'm gonna set this up in a cool spot. We're gonna get lifted. It's a good workout. Good progress. Woo! So we ran into the same problem again on this side. I got truss issues. Putting truss in like this, holy moly, that is a workout. Honestly, it feels like a CrossFit workout. We're doing so many different things in circuit, right? Like we pick up the truss, we're squatting, we're doing like a farmer's carry, we're walking with the truss, we're using every muscle group in sequence and then doing it over and over again. This is, yeah, lifting it up, even getting on here, getting on the scaffolding. Oh fuck, I almost hit my head. Then the impact on my knees, getting off, jumping up and down. We're gonna be freaking jacked after this. Look at that. We did all of this morning. That was yesterday's. And this is today's, and we're only halfway through today. but we're gonna take a break after laying this next one because we have officially hit midday, and that sun is pretty harsh. The UV index is labeled as extreme, so we're gonna try and lay low, take a break, and let that UV index drop a little bit. Well, look at this, we got some shade in here now. Woo! Making progress. Look at this. The load of truss out here is looking a lot lighter. That feels good because, damn, these things are heavy. Making progress. We are doing good. We still have to complete this section. It's like the identical to what we did. But next, we're gonna do the dome. So the other day we prepared this by putting up these ledges with one layer of treated wood and another untreated. So the truss can sit on these ledges like that. All right, well, let's get a time lapse of this. So over the past year or so, one of my favorite hobbies, something I've been getting more into, is reading. I love reading now. Especially, I don't know, the lifestyle we have been living, waking up in the bus in beautiful nature spots. This winter we were all over Baja, California, and Mexico. And there's just something about waking up, sitting outside and reading a book that I have fallen in love with. And if I'm not reading and I'm doing something that I can't actively read a book, I like to listen to a book. And a book that I listened to this year was called The Surrender Experiment by a guy named Michael A. Singer. And he actually wrote a book that I read in college that pretty much changed my life, or at least how I perceived so many things that I experience on a day-to-day basis. He wrote a book called The Untethered Soul. And if you have any interest in awareness and just things like the voice in your head and why we spend so much time listening to it, things that we all experience on a daily basis, on an every moment basis, and how to become a little bit more aware of them. And it's fascinating things. Anyway, he also wrote a book called The Surrender Experiment. And this is a book that I listened to just this year for the first time. And it's basically a memoir, a story of his life. And one of the things that he's carried with him throughout his whole entire life is this thing he calls the surrender experiment. When an opportunity presents itself in life, he surrenders to it, and instead of resisting it and coming up with excuses or reasons not to do it, he just says yes and surrenders and says, okay, this is what life is throwing at me now. I'm not going to go too deep into his book, but the reason I bring that up is because just when I finished listening to that book about how if you stop resisting, surrender when opportunities present themselves, and contribute the best effort you possibly can. That's another key aspect of his experiment, is doing something to the best of your ability, which is something my dad always instilled in me growing up, is if you're doing something, do it the best you can. And that's when this opportunity presented itself. At first, when I heard that he was looking for help, my thought immediately went to, well, I'm busy, I can't do that, I got stuff to do. And then I started realizing, like, what is it? You know, I do have work that I am involved with right now, but it's all remote. I can work from a laptop, so that means I can work from anywhere. And I just kept coming up with other excuses. I'm not qualified, I don't have any experience with construction. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need someone with a lot of experience. He essentially just needs an extra set of hands. And, you know, he can also teach me a lot too. And then I thought about this surrender experiment, where I could resist this opportunity and pursue something else. But it's here right now, and this is something I'm interested in. Why not? So, here we are. Cheers to the surrender experiment. Let's go build a house. But now this might actually change the entire layout of the house.